sitting comfortably, either in your meditation asana or any comfortable position. And check that your back is upright and straight, and your head also. And check that your shoulders and arms are relaxed. And have your arms, your hands in Chin Mudra facing upwards in the receiving mode. On your knees or on your lap. Yes, that's a good idea, Geetika. Let's all do it. Everyone, let's just have a big stretch first. Interlock your hands, open your eyes, and just have a big stretch. Ah, that's better. And if you like another one, breathing in, just get all the tightness and tensions of the day out. Ah, and relax. That was great. Thank you, Geetika. And now settle down. So check that your back and head are upright, shoulders are loose, arms are loose, and hands in your favorite mudra or gesture, or as I showed you before, eyes gently closed. Feel the shape and position of your physical body. And find its center of equilibrium so that it's neither leaning forward nor back, neither to the right nor left, but totally in alignment with the force of gravity. And notice how you feel at this moment, at this time of the day, and at the beginning of our session. Connecting to the higher consciousness as we chant Om 3 times together. Take a deep breath in now. Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Hari Om. That's it. And gently open your eyes and be comfortable. Good. So this evening we're going to learn a little bit about Antar Mouna. Antar Mouna is an ancient practice from the Tantras. And the meaning is inner silence. And in the practice of Antar Mouna, we learn how to reach that place of inner silence deep within. It's that place that is beyond the five senses, beyond all thoughts, all emotions, all mental manifestations. Because all these things are things that we're experiencing all the time. You know, when we're usually our awareness is directed outwardly. and we are interacting with the world through our senses, listening, talking, eating, interacting, and our attention is always directed outwards to the outer world. But if you turn the light of awareness inside, it's called pratyahara, when you are able to withdraw your mind from the senses and take your awareness inside, then you can explore the inner world, not only the conscious mind, but also the deeper levels of the unknown mind, the unconscious. And there, as vast as the universe is outside, is such a vast universe inside. Because everything that we've ever experienced in life is encoded and recorded and part of our being. And so you can, by exploring that inner world, you can learn so much about yourself. You know that thing that they say in Greek philosophy, know thyself. So Antar Mouna is a really great way of knowing thyself, because you can explore how you think, how you react, what are your prejudices, what are your attitudes. And you can actually, by bringing those things up to the light of awareness, you can actually mold yourself into your best version by culling out the unwanted things and encouraging and bringing up the good aspects of your being that you want to encourage. So the way we do the practice of Antar Mouna is we learn how to be a witness, a sakshi, a witness to all the things that we are experiencing. For example, we say that there are different kinds of awareness, you know. One kind of awareness is focusing. If I say, take your awareness to your nose tip, your focused ekagrata, just up there, that's where all your attention is at that moment. At this moment, your attention is on your instrument listening to me. So that also is ekagrata, where you're collecting all the rays of your awareness and focusing them on one point. There's another kind of awareness, which is expanded awareness. If I say, listen to the sounds around us, up to now, you've only been hearing one sound, my voice. But when I say, be aware of the sounds around us, oh, there's that sound, and you can hear various different sounds. So your awareness is expanding to include all those sounds, including my sound. So that's expanded awareness. And then if I say, be aware of how you're sitting, or be aware of what you're thinking, it's like you're coming out of yourself, and from an objective point of view, you're viewing yourself as if you're looking at someone else, and you're seeing, oh, I'm sitting like this, I'm wearing these clothes, my position, my hands are in this position, I look like this. And it's as if you're observing someone else, as if you're looking at someone else. So this is witness awareness, sakshi bhava. And in the practice of Antar Mouna, in fact, in all meditations, we're trying to develop awareness, because originally the point of awareness is to become so sensitive and aware that you can be aware of the subtle aspects of our being. You know, the mind, the emotions, the desires, the subtler and subtler things, until you can actually be aware of the spirit, the soul, the Atma, the essence of life within us. And so that's what we're trying to do in Antar Mouna. We're trying to experience all the different senses and the thoughts and the emotions, so that we know what they are, so that we can go even behind them to experience that Antar Mouna, silent, nothing, peaceful place. It's the source of our being, the source of energy. And once we get to that place, then we can absorb that energy and knowing and silence, and it can recharge and refresh us and give us different perspective on life. And then when we come back, um, well, you'll have to do it and find out what happens when you come back. You will come back. One of the most useful things about Antar Mouna is that it helps you to detach from the unpleasant and painful things of life, because you learn to be able to see your thoughts going past. You see, everything in life is changing. uh, the body, when you were a little child, the body was different. And when you were a youth, the body was different. And now the body is different. And when you grow older, the body will change. So the body is always changing. And our situation in life is changing. And our desires change. And our interests change. Sometimes our activities change. So everything in life is changing. But there is a part of ourselves which is constant, which doesn't change. And that's what we're trying to reach in the practice of Antar Mouna. That's the Sakshi. That's the place of beyond that inner silence. And it's uh, the now you're sitting here and listening to me, but you can probably remember a time when you were a child and you were experiencing something. And like my friend just now was saying, that when she got on the school bus and first saw me, she was experiencing something then. And the same person now is experiencing me now, the same person. Even though the body has changed and the life has changed and everything else has changed, but it's the same person looking through these eyes and hearing through these ears. And that is the person, or that is the you, the me-ness, the I-ness, which we're trying to connect with in the practice of Antar Mouna. And the way we do it is we recognize that the thoughts are coming past. We listen to the sounds, and the sounds come and go. And we observe ourselves listening. This is the first step. Then the second step, we feel the sensations of the body, and the sensations are changing. They're passing. But we are observing ourselves feeling the sensations. And then we become a little more subtle and are able to see that, yes, a moment ago I was thinking about that, but now I'm thinking about this. So the thoughts are coming and going all the time, like clouds across the sky, or traffic on the road, or a river, always passing, always moving, coming and going, coming and going. But the person who is able to think or to observe the thoughts is not coming and going. That is the constant you. And that's what we're trying to reach. And by recognizing that I'm not the thoughts, but I'm something deeper, that's how we do it. Now, a lot of people, a lot of us, we identify with our thoughts so much because our thoughts kind of dominate our awareness. We're always engrossed in our thoughts without even realizing it. But when you're sleeping, the thoughts are not there, but you're still there. So you know that thoughts can come and go, but you're always there. So that's the you that you're trying to find in the practice of Antar Mouna by doing these different steps. And you can actually train yourself to recognize the things that are passing and changing in life so that you can recognize and identify and be with that constant part of you. And when you're with that constant part of you, you can observe the anxieties, the worries, the pain, the suffering coming and going, and realizing that I am not that suffering. The pain is happening, the suffering is happening, but I'm not that. I'm the experiencer of everything in life, including the pain and the suffering and the joy and everything else. So what you can do when you get to that stage, you can choose to get more into the joy, and you can learn to withdraw from the unpleasant things. Actually, we're not supposed to do that in spiritual life. In spiritual life, we're supposed to take both good and bad. But at least Antar Mouna helps us to be able to withdraw when we want to, like a turtle, or to get out there and be involved when we want to. Okay? So we're going to have a little practice soon. But before that, are there any questions or something that you want to hear about so far? Don't be shy. Yes.
Ma'am, could you be little louder, ma'am? The voice is very low.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for telling me that.
Thank you. Now it's very clear.
Is that better?
Swamiji?
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Yes.
Good, good. Okay.
Swamiji, I have one question.
Yeah.
When we do Antar Mouna and when we are in silence,
Yes.
when we come out of the silence or when we are back to our routine things,
Mm.
somehow the sounds will start getting irritated. So how to go about it?
What you have to do is what you're learning in the practice, you have to apply in your outer life. So, for example, when you come out and you find that you're being irritated, you have to observe yourself being irritated and say, I'm feeling irritated now, and it's okay to be irritated. Because probably you've become a bit more sensitive to everything. And so everything is kind of more um, vivid. But you haven't developed the acceptance to be able to take it. So you have to develop the awareness along with acceptance, because you will become more aware, more sensitive, more subtle. And you also have to be able to take it. You like the wiring has to be, thicker so that you can take more current going through the wires. And it's actually a very good opportunity to develop yourself and say, yes, I feel irritation and it's okay. So don't think that just because you're developing with your awareness and your spirituality that you have to change the world and make it according to what you want. No, you have to be more. Uh, you have to be more accepting and loving and giving and compassionate. And when that irritation comes, it's okay. You don't have to say, I'm not going to get irritated. No, you just have to simply observe, this is irritation and it's okay. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, Swamiji, thank you so much.
One little thing I want to add to that happens to me often. If I have
Yes.
a very good meditation,
Okay.
afterwards I become very crabby and
Mhm.
lose my temper a lot. It's an indication that impurities are coming out, and that is a good time to do karma yoga. So what you should do at that time is clean the room, wash the clothes, do the cooking, clean the cupboards, and become involved in some activity so that you can use that energy of irritation and anger and temper and use it in a constructive thing. It happens to a lot of people.
Swamiji, there is a concept of
Carry
Antar
on,
Mouna
Sanya.
that mentioned in some
Are you asking something?
No, Swamiji, I just put the video camera on.
Okay, right. Sanya, this program and this course is directly thanks to your request. I can't hear you. You have to unmute your mic.
Swati, why don't you go ahead? I think
Sorry,
Swati.
Swamiji. I said that thank you for that. And I forwarded this to quite a few friends, and I can see a few have joined in.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Thank you so
But
much.
I should introduce you to Sanya. She's the one I was saying that requested this
Yes,
course.
I recognize that. Thanks a lot, Sanya ji, for
Thank
suggesting.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you very
I
much.
think Swati wanted to ask a question. So, Swati
So,
ma'am, why don't you go ahead?
yeah.
Swamiji, I just wanted to, you said it's taken from a certain text. So I just wanted to check with you from which text this concept of Antar Mouna is taken.
What did the text say?
No, Swamiji, I'm asking you. is there any reference of this particular module that you're following? Is it, since in the beginning, in the introduction, you mentioned that it's written in some of our texts, no? Traditional texts.
You mean in the scriptures?
Scriptures, yes.
Yeah, so I think what she's asking is where does this concept come from?
Concept of awareness and acceptance, or Antar Mouna?
Antar Mouna, I guess.
Vipassana.
Thank you, Minoti. Yes, yes. It's an ancient practice, and Vipassana is a version of Antar Mouna, because don't forget, Lord Buddha, he learned all the yogas and meditations, and then he developed Vipassana, or that was what he gleaned out of it, and he mainly practiced Vipassana. But I don't know any scripture where it talks about it. I'm sure there is something, but it comes from the ancient tantras. And Swami Satyananda, he wrote a book, Meditation from the Tantras, and he studied the tantras. He practiced. He also had a teacher who taught him all the tantras, and then he systematized them and made them available to the public by teaching them and teaching sannyasis and writing that book, Meditation from the Tantras. So it's in that book.
Thank you, Swami.
Great. So if there are no more questions, I think we're ready for a little taste of the practice.
There's one more person, Chiranjeet, who wants to ask something. Yeah, please go ahead.
Chiranjeev.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Hello.
Hayom.
Tell me.
Swamiji, it is sometimes very tough to visualize while meditating, like visualize like I am mountain or anything like that. It's very tough to visualize anything. What can help to visualize better?
See, some people can visualize easily, some people can hear and are more auditory, and some people can feel and are more kinesthetic. So you have to see what is easier for you. And if you find that visualizing, what did I say? What did you say? Visualizing was it a tree?
Yeah, like means
Anything. Visualizing anything.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's difficult, then choose something else. For example, when we're doing the morning meditation that you're attending, instead of visualizing a tree or a mountain, you could feel the solidness of the ground underneath you. And maybe that is something that you can relate to. Or, and we're going to develop that in the next coming weeks, or you could hear the sounds around us. And that will help you to switch off and to focus your attention. So whatever is easier, do you know now what is easier for you, listening, feeling, or visualizing?
No, Swamiji, it's I don't know about that very clearly.
So you'll try them out and then you'll eventually find it. Okay. So if you can't visualize, it really doesn't matter. Okay. You might find that mantra chanting, repeating mantras might work better for you. So we'll see. It's an exciting path, you know. Yoga is a science, and you're the scientist, and the body is the laboratory, and the techniques are the experiments. And we try all the experiments, and we see what works for us, and then gradually our path unfolds, and we follow the things that work for us until we get to the highest, subtlest level of the higher consciousness.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So, shall we have a little taste of Antar Mouna?
Swamiji, could you speak a little louder, please?
Oh, yes. Okay. I'll speak a little louder. Is that better?
Yes.
Good. Okay. I'll remember to speak a little louder. So let's try the practice of Antar Mouna. Please sit in a comfortable position. If you have a meditation asana, sit in your meditation asana. If you're sitting in a chair, that's fine. And arrange your legs so that your legs are quite comfortable. Most people say keep your feet flat on the floor. I don't actually find that very comfortable. But whatever you feel comfortable, the main thing is once you settle down, you have to keep still. Because if you keep still, then you can go deep within and explore and experience the inner world. So first of all, arrange your legs and make your legs quite comfortable. And once you've done that, push your waist forward so that your back straightens. And imagine that a string is pulling you up from the top back of your head. And then relax your shoulders and relax your arms and have your hands in your favorite gesture or mudra. And relax your stomach muscles and gently close your eyes. And feel the shape and position of your physical body. And find its center of equilibrium so that it's neither leaning forward nor back, neither to the right nor left, but totally in alignment with the force of gravity. And make any necessary adjustments so that you can be quite comfortable. And once you've found your perfectly comfortable and centered position, lock your body into position, as if you're locking your room, your suitcase, or your vehicle safe and secure. And say to yourself mentally, now I'm going to do a short practice of Antar Mouna. I can and I will remain still easily. And if you get the temptation to move, just be aware of the temptation without actually giving into it. And now, connecting to the higher consciousness, as we chant Om 3 times together, take a deep breath in now. Feel the sound of Om reverberating. And take your awareness outside and listen to all the sounds that you can hear without thinking of the cause of the sounds. Taking your awareness from one sound to the next, listening carefully to each sound, and then moving on to the next one. Gradually listening to the softer, subtler, furthest away sounds. And as you're listening to the sounds, observe yourself listening to the sounds, as if you're watching someone else listening to sounds. Or as if you're saying to yourself, I'm listening to sounds, and I know that I'm listening to sounds. Or being aware that sounds come and go. But there is a part of yourself which is always there, the constant part of yourself, the experiencer of everything in life, including the listening of sounds. So whichever way works best for you, use that way to listen very carefully to the sounds, but at the same time, observing yourself listening or being aware that you're listening. After some time, your mind will start wandering away and thinking of other things. That's the time to be vigilant and alert. And as soon as you realize that your mind is thinking of something else and not listening to the sounds, you can either bring it back to listening very carefully, or you can start observing yourself thinking. I'm thinking, and I know that I'm thinking. Or a thought has come, and I know that a thought has come. But now, leave the sounds and come back. And observe yourself sitting in this room. You know what the whole room looks like, and you know where you are sitting in relationship to everything else. And you can, with your mind's eye, see the shape and position of your physical body. Broad at the base if you're sitting on the floor, narrow at the head. You can see the position of your arms and legs, the clothes that you're wearing. You can even know the expression on your face. And try and see or imagine how you look from the side, the profile view. And from the back. And after you've viewed yourself as if you're watching someone else sitting there, step inside your body. Feel that you're stepping into your physical body. And start exploring all the sensations that you can feel in your body. Some of them are on the surface of the skin, and some of them are inside the body. Perhaps some pressure, or heat, or hunger, or the sensation of the clothes on the skin. Just like you were listening and moving from one sound to the next, now move from one sensation to the next. Feeling the sensations intensely, but also observing yourself doing this. It's like a split awareness. Part of you fully involved in feeling the sensations, and the other part observing what's happening. After some time, your mind will forget to be sensing the sensations and it'll start thinking of something else. And at that time, you can either bring your mind back to feeling the sensations and observing yourself doing this, or you can start observing the thought process of thinking. So see if you can catch your mind thinking. Because the same part of your mind that does the thinking is also that part that does the observing. So it's a skill that we have to develop to be able to observe ourselves thinking. Thoughts come and go, like traffic on the road or clouds in the sky. But there is a part of you that is always there, constantly. And has been there as long as you can remember. But be with that part of yourself as you observe yourself thinking of something or perhaps feeling something, a mood or an emotion. Sometimes the mental chatter begins to have a conversation. The different parts of yourself conversing with each other. Observe, be the observer, the witness, the seer, the experiencer of everything in life, including that constant chatter. When you're doing this practice by yourself, stay in this stage for as long as you can. But now, leave your thoughts and go beyond them, behind them, over them, to that deep, Antar Mouna, inner silent, empty, nothing space. Try and get to that space that's behind and beyond all mental manifestation. And if you're thinking, my mind is blank, that's also a thought. So just say to that thought, not now. And any thoughts that come in, just say, not now. And try and be in that Antar Mouna, empty, nothing spaciousness. Experience it. Explore it. Absorb it. And let that deep, peaceful, silent place of knowing refresh you and recharge you and give you what you need in your life at present. Notice how you feel in this state. And remember that feeling. And now, gently, gently come back and be a witness to the process of coming back. Come back to the physical body. See yourself once more sitting in this room. And notice if there's any pain or discomfort in your body so that you can sit more comfortably next time. Come back and take a few deep breaths in and out to break the stillness of your body and to come back fully to the external world around us. If you want to, you can stretch your legs and release your posture. And we'll finish off this practice of short Antar Mouna by chanting Om 3 times together, sending love and thanks to the world around. Take a deep breath in now. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Finish off with palming. And gently open your eyes with a big smile on your face. And try and continue being a witness for as long as you can. Good. So I hope you got a taste of what it's like to be able to observe all the things that are happening in life and remain with that constant part of yourself, and then go to that deep Antar Mouna space. So we're going to have a course, and after this session, you'll get the details sent to you. We're going to have a course of Antar Mouna, just 3 sessions, where we're going to learn and practice how to be a witness. So that you can do this. The beauty about Antar Mouna is during the practice, you learn how to be a witness and how to observe and how to see things coming and going, how to withdraw from them, how to get into them more. And then you're going to practice that during the rest of your day and your life, so that you become more and more aware. And it's kind of like you can become your own psychologist or psychoanalyst. So you use the things that happen during your life to practice observing during the meditation. And then you use the practice of meditation to apply to your life. So they kind of work really well together, because the meditation practice helps you to be more aware and develop your life and your attitudes and the things that you want to develop. And then the things that happen in your life become the subject matter to work on during the Antar Mouna. So now open to questions or feedback or anything.
Swamiji, thank you for this wonderful session. It was very relaxing and much needed. And yes, I probably reached that state where I was kind of.
No, I can't hear at all. Oh, so many questions.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better. Thank you.
I said I could feel the silence for some time.
A little louder, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I said I could feel the silence for some time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't aware of, I think, anything for for a little time, and I don't know how long it was. And I felt very relaxed after that.
Yes, that's good. So this is the thing, you see, because you can get into that place where that peace and energy is, when you come back, it's like you've been on a holiday. Your whole mood of your mind has changed. All the energy has changed. And that's why it's so good, especially in this day and age of competition, anxiety, grief, fear. We learn how to cope with those things by learning how to detach from them and go to a neutral space where we can recharge ourselves. And that's really helpful for all ailments also, because most ailments are connected with stress and our reaction to the things in our lives. So by learning how to switch off and observe from a different perspective, it really helps us to cope with things in life. Thank you.
Thank you for the session, Swamiji.
Hari Om, Veena.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How is this different from Yoga Nidra?
It's very different from Yoga Nidra. You know, what I say is there are two different kinds of meditation. One is where you speak to God, and the other one is where you listen to God. Yoga Nidra is one where you speak to God in a way. Prayer is also one that you speak to God. So you're creating things, you're doing the visualization, and that helps to bring up the things and to observe them. But your mind is busy doing all the different things. Whereas in Antar Mouna, you are being still and you're observing. You're observing the sounds, you're observing the sensations, you're observing the thoughts, and then you're listening very carefully, trying to listen to that silence and be in that silence. And the things will bubble up by themselves, and then you'll get the guidance, and you know, things will come to you. So this is one of the listening ones.
Thank you.
They're both really good, because one's good for relaxation and the other one is good for understanding and knowledge and yeah, developing ourselves. Both are important. Sorry, there wasn't.
Sorry, can you just repeat the key, the essence of this, what you just said? Because I also wanted to ask the same question and then I started thinking when you spoke. I'm so sorry.
Did you observe yourself thinking?
No, I got lost, but I had this question. What is the difference between Yoga Nidra and Antar Mouna?
Yeah. So what I was saying is there are two kinds, in my opinion, two kinds of meditation. One is where you talk to God and you create something in your meditation. And the other is where you don't create, but you simply observe what is there.
Yeah.
So the other is where you're listening to God, and the other one is where you're speaking to God. So in Yoga Nidra, you're creating. You are actively listening, you're actively feeling, you're actively visualizing. Once you get to the crux of Yoga Nidra, you're actively visualizing and creating something, but that helps you to open up and release a lot of stuff. It's like the bait gets the fish out. But in Antar Mouna, you are observing yourself listening, observing yourself sensing, yourself thinking, observing yourself having emotions, and then going beyond that and just observing and being. So that's basically the way I see it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Swamiji?
Yes.
Is it compulsory to sit, do this practice in seated position of Antar Mouna, or you can do it in the lying position also?
Yes, you can do it lying down. But the only thing is, lying down is so relaxing that you might not be able to watch your thoughts because you get carried away with them too much, or you might fall asleep. So you have to experiment. If you're the kind of person that you're really hyper, your mind is going a mile a minute, and it's very difficult for you to relax, then lying down would be a better way for you to do it. But if you're a kind of person that as soon as you lie down, you conk out and go to sleep, then it won't be a good idea to do it lying down. Okay?
No. Actually, Swamiji, when I do any meditation practice in seated position, my spine got too much pain in my spine.
You could try sitting on a chair with a cushion behind your lower back or your waist. And if you...
Or he could sit against a wall, the wall.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to push your waist forward so that your back is upright. Because if you're leaning too much, and you slouch, then the energy is kind of blocked. So it's good to have your back straight. But there is, I don't know whether you're one of the people who subscribe to Eka meditation app. But anyway, if you come to this course, I'll show you how to sit comfortably, because I'm very particular about the value of sitting comfortably without pain, because then you can, for the rest of your life, you've got a meditation posture that you can use. And it's very important to sit comfortably and still. Even in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, he says, Stiram Sukham Asanam. A meditation posture should be still and comfortable. So even Swami Satyananda, he says it's better to spend 25 minutes adjusting and 5 minutes in a good meditation rather than 5 minutes adjusting and 25 minutes wriggling around and being distracted by discomfort.
Yes.
But you can do it lying down as long as you don't sleep. There's another hand up here. Is that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Swamiji, my name is Narayan. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So the way this progress was that you started listening to the outside sound, then you started feeling your sensations, then you started observing your thoughts, and then you started going behind the thoughts.
Yes.
So somehow it gave me an impression that this journey is the journey through the Pancha Koshas.
Yes.
The outside world, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, and to the Anandamaya Kosha. So is that a right understanding, or is it something else?
Well, it's not a wrong understanding, because we are a conglomeration of those different levels. And we are learning in Antar Mouna, as in most meditations, to go deeper and deeper within to the subtler aspects of our being. So in that way, you are following the Panchakoshas. So that's the beauty about Panchakoshas. You can apply the understanding of Panchakoshas to most meditations and to most things in life.
Thank you.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Swamiji, may I ask a question?
Yes.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah. So Swamiji, regarding the Yoga Nidra, Antar Mouna, and then there are because I have gone to Vipassana, but of course, I have not been a regular practitioner of the different forms of meditation that I have done, even Pratyahara practice of Yoga Nidra. So I do it sometimes, and sometimes I'm just, not doing it. What I wanted to know is, how do I know what time is good to do a Yoga Nidra or an Antar Mouna, or just breath awareness as in Vipassana, the Anapana? What I have noticed for myself is that for me, that Anapana, I am more drawn towards doing just, being aware of the breath. But yet, having said that, I know there's value in doing Yoga Nidra, and I know that there's value in doing Antar Mouna. Just that then, how does one know when to do what?
See, when you're doing breath awareness, at that time, thoughts will be coming, no? Yes. So when thoughts come in, then you use the witnessing principle of Antar Mouna to observe yourself thinking.
Okay.
And then bring yourself back to observing your breath. So this is the beauty of Antar Mouna. Once you've learned it, you can apply it to all other meditations as an extra faculty, if you like, an extra skill to be able to bring your mind back each time. And you can also use it in your daily life to be aware of what you're thinking. And are you focused, or are you, getting carried away with your thoughts while you're supposed to be doing something else? Or are you reacting to what people are saying in a negative way and how to get out of that. So it's a very useful practice. And even if you don't do it as a separate practice, once you've learned it and you've learned how to observe, then you can use that kind of observation at any time. And you should try and do it 24 hours a day.
So how, if a person has not been practicing any type of meditation very regularly, is it okay to start the practice of Antar Mouna?
Yeah, because the steps are very clear cut. Like we did today, the steps are very clear cut.
What's very clear cut, Swamiji?
The steps are very clear cut.
Okay. Okay.
So if you just follow the steps, you get it. And it's, you know, it's not a complicated practice. It's not a difficult practice, but it's difficult to do because the mind is so slippery, you see.
Yes.
And it's so easy to get distracted and carried away on the train of thoughts.
Yes, Swamiji, today also when I was doing this, while you were guiding us through it, I realized time and again, I was with my thoughts, you know, gone with the wave of the thoughts. So.
But it's okay, because initially you actually think that, oh, I'm hopeless, my thoughts are getting more and more.
Yes.
It's not that at all. It's actually that you're getting more and more aware, because the thoughts are always going on and on. But you weren't so aware before because you're more extroverted. So when you start meditation, it's not the thoughts are getting more, it's just that you're becoming more aware of what's going on anyway.
Yeah, that's a good perspective, Swamiji. Yes. Yeah. And last clarification, that this Antar Mouna, is it like going towards kind of a self-inquiry, kind of a, like what Sri Ramana Maharishi was teaching?
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, because he says, ask, who am I?
Yes.
So by going to that deep inner silent place, you're kind of going, you know, he says, okay, ask, who am I? Someone says, you know, I get angry, how to stop getting angry? He says, who's getting angry? So then you are observing yourself getting angry and trying to go beyond that to find out, who are you? So it's almost like a technique that helps you to do his jnana yoga, it is, where you inquire, who am I? So it's a kind of technique that gets you to that, who am I?
Okay. Thank you, Swamiji.
So if there are no more questions, I would encourage you to come to the course and go deeper into the practice and become more adept at practicing, because it's really, really good practice in life in general, and it's really good to understand how your mind works so that you can get away from it from time to time, so that you can relax and refresh. It's really good for all kind of therapeutic things, because a lot of our problems are due to mental problems, and this is a great way to be able to observe those mental problems and to learn how to control the mind and take it off what negative things that you're doing and put it onto positive things. So I'd encourage everyone to come, and the details will be sent to you, so you can just fill up the details and come. And if you can't attend at the time that is specified, you can always, anyway, it's online, you can always request for the recordings, and we'll send the recordings to those people who can't attend the actual class. And probably the organizers will, usually I send the last day's recording so that to help you to continue your practice by yourself. So thank you so much, all of you, for coming. And I hope to see you very soon. And there'll be lots of other good courses going on. So, Hari Om Tat Sat. If you have got any...
Mine also is turning more and more.
Sorry? If you have got any specific question or something, you can stay back. Otherwise, see you soon. Hari Om. Thank you, Sanya. Thank you again, Sanya.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Thank you, Veena.
Dhanyawad, Swamiji.
Thank you. Thank you, Jyoti.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank
Swamiji,
you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Ramya here. I see myself reacting very often. Though I am a Vipassana practitioner, and I have been following you right now for very very recently. I've started doing yoga nidra, and but somehow I go into a reacting mode very very quickly, and it really hurts me because I know I'm supposed to respond. I'm supposed to take a step back, but I'm not able to actually do that, and then I go very hard on myself. I kind of go very, very hard on myself. I scold myself, or otherwise I try journaling my emotions, but I'm not getting anywhere. So I just wanted to understand from you, how do I witness myself that I am about to react? And how do I acknowledge that fact that I don't want to react and I want to become a little calmer and then respond in a more healthier way?
See, the first thing is you've got to say it's okay. Reacting and getting angry and saying the wrong thing is part of being a human being. And we are all human beings. And we're on the path of perfection, but we haven't reached it yet. So first thing is, I'm aware that I'm getting angry, and it's okay to be angry because I'm a human being. Okay. Once you do that, you'll be able to relax. And once you relax, you'll be able to see, why are you getting angry? Now, if you look behind the thought of anger, you'll find expectation.
Right.
Someone has done something and you were expecting something different. Either they insulted you and you were expecting them not to insult you, or they didn't give you some kind of respect and you were expecting that respect, or you were expecting them to behave in a particular way. For example, you're teenagers and they weren't doing that. So have a look at what is the thought and the belief behind that reaction. Once you've found it, have a look a little further, and what is the thought and belief behind that? And you keep going behind and behind and behind until you find the root, usually during childhood. Once you, for example, in childhood, your mother or your father or some adult in a position of authority said, oh, you mustn't do this. And that has become into the hard drive, and it keeps telling you, you mustn't do this. And so you react to it, and it's become a habitual reaction. Very difficult to break because it happens automatically, even when you're not aware of it. So the first thing is be aware of how you're reacting, that you've already got. Then you have to say it's okay to be like that because that's the way I am. God loves me the way I am. I'm a human being. Then look behind and see what is the thought or the reason or the expectation. It's usually an expectation behind that. And then what's the one behind that? And then what's the behind? And once you get to the core root, you can say, well, do I really want to believe that? Do I really want to expect that? Maybe you got angry because someone insulted you and you have an expectation of not to be insulted. So why don't you change your expectation and say, it's okay if people insult me, so what? And then once you change your viewpoint or your expectation, you find that everything just melts away. And that is kind of like realization. When you realize what is the expectation, the cause for that, suddenly you're able to drop it. It's when you can see it that you can choose to drop it. And so it's a process. You keep doing that and doing that and doing that. But it's really, 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 really important to say it's okay. That is the second spot. And that is the same thing what I was saying to someone else about acceptance. You have to not only be aware, but you also have to accept.
Right.
And this is another way of loving yourself. Everyone says, oh, you got to love yourself. How can you love others unless you love yourself? Very difficult. But if you accept that this is the way I am, and actually people love you the way you are, and so you can just say, yes, okay, let me make it okay. I get angry and it's okay. Another thing is, you get angry and lose your temper and react. because you're full of life and intensity. It shows that you're alive. It shows that you care. If it's someone, if you didn't care about the person, you wouldn't react. It's usually the people who are close to us in our family, in our workplace, our staff, that we react to because we care about them or we care about what they're doing. So it's actually a sign of love.
Right. Very true. And most of the times, my answer when I go back, when I step back, when I ask myself, why do I do those things, why I behave the way I behave sometimes, or rather, most of the times, the word which comes to me is like insecurity. That's one word which often comes to me when I do my vipassana, or when I realize myself a certain, I do a lot of self work. So and most of my answer is, I know I feel very insecure to let go, or for any reason. How do I manage that? Because your word, it's okay, is what I've been practicing for some time right now, and it's really helpful. Thank you so much for that magic word. It is really a magic word, because most of the times I tell myself, it's okay, and I really feel calm that time.
Yes.
And just to add on, if you can also let me know something to handle my insecurity in a better way.
Let me ask you one thing. Do you think the insecurity is connected with control, that you need to be in control? You want to be in control?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you can say to yourself, here I am being a control freak, and it's okay. I want to be in control. It's okay. Right? Because after all, you are the woman of the house and you want things to go to your way. And after all, you do think you're better, and you probably are. And so you want things to go your way. But if you can recognize that you are in the control mode and decide that I don't have to be in control, I can let people do their thing. If they don't do it as well as me, it really doesn't matter, because the relationship I have with that person is more important than the job that they're doing. So, if they don't do the table or whatever it is the way you want it, and you get angst about it, you can realize that your relationship with that person is more important than what it is. Of course, it depends on the situation. If it's a staff person and you want them to do the job, you have to be clear this is the way it should be done. And then you can tell them without making a personal thing. Because as soon as you react, it becomes a kind of they're getting their thing by pushing your buttons, you see. So if you can recognize that you're being in the controlling mode, and you can consciously let it go, that's great. If you feel it's insecurity, because many times insecurity and being in control go hand in hand. So what you can do is you can do visualizations. You can do the insecurity many times comes from childhood. So you can do visualization of yourself as a little girl feeling insecure, and what would you really, really, really like? Maybe you'd really like your dad to give you a big hug and hold you tight, tight, tight.
Yes.
Or maybe it's for me, I went through this security thing, and for me, it was seeing a big fat bank balance. That was my feeling of security. So you have to think of what it is for you, and then keep visualizing that, because a part of you is feeling insecure, and you need to make it feel really, really secure, and you can, because I can't tell you why, but I just tell you you can make it. And control, I went through this control thing also, and I tried to think, what is the thing that makes me most feel in control? Now, let me ask you before I tell you, okay? What activity or what situation makes you feel totally in control?
Totally in control?
Yes.
When everything goes by what I want to happen.
Can you tell me one situation when it does?
No, never it does. Because people always react the way they react. So many a times it's only on my decisions. I'm only, whatever I do, it's only at that time when I'm in control of what I can do. The
So
minute
let
I
me
expect,
ask you, can you remember one thing one incident where you felt in control and you felt happy about it?
yes, of course. When I travel, I do a lot of solo trip. When I go into solo tripping to the mountains, and I'm totally in control of what I want to do, how I want to do, where I want to go, everything. Then everything is what is my checklist. I go by that, and everything goes by my, that way I feel totally in control of things.
Okay. So then when you recognize that you are going through a control freak period or situation, just remember how you feel when you are trekking in the mountains and awaken that feeling of control.
Okay.
And think to yourself, yes, I can be in control in that situation and I love it. And in this situation, it doesn't matter because I can be in control in that situation. So I don't have to be in control in this situation.
Okay, Swamiji. Okay. So when I go to that kind of insecurity feeling, I can visualize what makes me feel secure. I need to visualize more of that.
Yeah.
And I need to visualize myself telling, okay, whatever I feel like doing in the mountains, that's in control of what I do. But over here, I don't have to be.
See, it depends on the situation. For example, if you are a manager and you have to manage everything and get people to do what you want to do, don't forget they appreciate you being in control. So you may feel bad that you're reacting and losing your cool, but actually that's what they want you to do because that's how they get a good job from you, by you being in control and bossing people around and getting things done. So I don't know what your situation is, but if your situation is to be managing, then it's a good thing to try and be in control and orchestrate what you're doing. And people are appreciating you for that. But if you are being a control freak and bossing around your house and everyone's getting fed up with you, then that's a time where you think, okay, I can be in control without being a dragon, and go into the mountains and enjoy yourself. You don't have to literally go into the mountains, but just do a little visualization where you're trekking in there and everything is going according to thing, and enjoy it. And that will give you the thing that you need. Or that you're feeling insecure and your dad is hugging you tightly and you feel great. You just give yourself the emotion that you're craving for.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Swamiji.
Keep practicing.
Will do. Yeah.
Looks like a lot of people are benefiting from your answer, from your question. So, Prakar, I think we've had plenty, right? Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Yes, Swamiji, I think we can wrap this up.
And hope to see you soon. But I would like to see, I wonder if Anita is still here. No, she's already left. But you must be having her contact details, Anita Tahir.
Yes,
If you
Swamiji, I will send her
with
details.
her,
to you.
a
I'll
very
WhatsApp
old
to you
school
her
friend.
details, can't you?
Yeah, it's very rare to be able to find an old school friend. Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you soon and come to the next program.
Thank you. Thank you so
About
much.
the ashram.
Hari
Yeah,
Om.
there are plenty of programs in the ashram, but you get the notices. Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
कर दूं?